okay, why is now the time to put it all out there and go for this record?
I think going for this record at this stage in my career makes sense because of what I'm coming off of more than anything. The Boston Marathon was obviously a breakthrough that opened my eyes to possibilities and new heights that I could maybe achieve in this sport.
You did so good.
I think taking cracks at it as many times as possible is good, and strike the iron while it's hot, more or less. If I'm going to be running well, who knows what next year brings? Who knows how much longer I have in this sport? You know, like there's no guarantees of tomorrow, and today I feel good, and I feel like the possibility of it is there. So it excites me, and it's going to be something that gets me out of bed every morning, gets me excited to train, and scares me a little bit.
Yeah, I've been with Rory since freshman year of college. Something that I think makes him tick is having a family and wanting to do well for not only himself, but his family. And also,
I'm feeling it.
I remember in college he would try to do all the like little things. That was like his thing was to do, control all of the little things besides running. So like sleep, nutrition, being in a good mindset. And I think he's really come back to that and trying to just nail down like all of the little details that he can.
I didn't think I would be ready for a 205 coming off of the breakthrough of 2024 to just hit the Olympic standard of 208. I mean, I definitely thought that I had more to give, more on the table, and that I could make another decent little jump in times. But to think that a year after hitting one major milestone, which was to qualify for the Olympics, that I would be making another leap towards something this large and just be in a position to try for something like this. Definitely, I surprised myself with the fitness I got into in the Boston build and with the way that the race played out and how I felt in those moments. And now it's really just readjusting what maybe the ceiling is in my career, reframing what I think is or isn't fast. At one point in my career, if you had said, do you think you'll ever run 205? Like, man, I don't know, that sounds pretty crazy. Hopefully, maybe one day. Whereas now it feels more like a reality. It feels more like a possibility. I think I can pinpoint this frame of mind back to some conversations I've had with former coach Ryan Hall. He used to always challenge me to redefine what I thought was fast. And that was a hard thing to do because you do this sport long enough and progress is very incremental, and you kind of have to go baby step, baby step, baby step. And for the first time in my career, I feel like I'm making leaps, not steps, towards my goals, and readjust on the fly what you think is normal, what you think is possible. And it's exciting and it's nerve-wracking, and there's definitely a bit of imposter syndrome associated with trying to recalibrate what you think you can do in such a short period of time. Classic, boring, been here before, monotonous work. We got double T, probably 8 miles of work this morning. Come back for 5 to 7 in the afternoon. Trina's Loop to start.
What's your mileage after the week right now?
Post warm-up 80. After the day, it'll probably be at 100. These days are usually like between 21 and 23 miles, depending on how it unfolds, the work gets put in. So yeah, we're just stacking third straight 130 mile week. Actually feeling like pretty normal at this point doing it. Like it's almost cyclical at this point, which is nice. It's last block in the Boston build, that didn't feel like the case. I felt like every mile was earned and fought for, so it's nice to feel a little bit more controlled at the exact same volume.
Now, how many days until Chicago?
Gosh, how many days? It'll be 28 on Sunday. So 30 days, baby. Actually 1 month exactly. It's the 12th, so we're 1 month out today.
years gone by. Really excited kind of where we're at, and this is our third major coming up in Chicago, so excited for that. We also did Ottawa, which is really fun, and yeah, just really excited to we've gotten in a good groove with things, and yeah, just really ready to keep on kind of pushing things. And I think we work really well together in a very seamless capacity, and which is really nice. Anytime you bring on a new athlete, it's an interesting situation, because I feel like as a coach, I'm drinking from a fire hose, just trying to, gain as much information as possible, so much knowledge, and where Rory comes in with so much experience already with it. And so, yeah, that's something that I feel like I have to learn. And now, after being, having worked with him for a year, I think it's something where, yeah, there isn't I don't really see a ceiling. We're just going to try to capitalize and do as much as we can, on a day-by-day, week-by-week, month-by-month basis, and, adapt and make the right decisions at the right time with the information we have, and go from there.
Yeah, I think it is a full team effort. I often have to tell, the kids before he gets home from like a really long run, like 2.5 hour, 3 hour run, like, okay, Dad's going to be tired. So we need to like lay low and, maybe like watch a movie or watch some football. And of course they will throw the football to him and still try to play, and he's great about that. Yeah, it's a full team effort. The kids are really into it, and they're just now starting to realize this is his job, because they're realizing their friends' dads go to work, and our dad's home and goes to work. And so it's really fun to see their little brains working and figuring out that this is a really cool thing that he gets to do. And I think it gives him an extra push, when things get hard, I gotta run, well for my family, for the kids. So being at the moments of where, when he qualified for the Olympics was one of my greatest joys that I've ever witnessed, That was just so cool. I felt like we were really a family team working towards this one goal. Rory running, me with the kids, getting footage, and my job is to keep him calm, keep him steady. Watching him cross the finish line and just of course you're at the Olympics, it's amazing, it's beautiful, it's this huge, huge event. But I knew deep down he was so disappointed in his performance, and I don't think he ever wants to feel like that again. That was really hard for me to watch, because we were in this big event, the Olympics. And then we moved on to Boston, and that was a really great build. I really honed in on nutrition and feeding him well, specifically days before workouts and big runs. And so that was really fun for me to kind of be on a schedule with him. Again, feeling like a family unit, a team working together. And then seeing Rory cross that finish line with Jace in my arms was just an unbelievable feeling, watching him come down, And the hype after the race is what I like. So we can celebrate after, but before, we kind of like to keep it calm and steady.
So in Boston, it was all about racing, and it was all about being in that lead pack and competing with the people around me. Whereas Chicago, there's a really high likelihood of it being a much smaller group, very rigid pace structure, and a kind of ride the red line the whole way, with knowing that we're never going to back off. In Boston, when it was hard early in the race, I could trick myself into being well, maybe they're going to slow down. Maybe we'll hit a patch where the group is going to slow down. And when you're in a time trial race, how you feel at mile 8, mile 7, it's not going to get easier. It's going to just continue to ride that line, because we're following a pacer, we're targeting a time. It's going to be hard the whole way through. There is no reprieve. The only thing that can save you in a time trial race is maybe you get lucky and you get a stretch of road that you get a tailwind or something like that. But it's really just going to be a grind from start to finish. And I know that there's going to be a moment in that race where doubt creeps in, and that it feels like it's going to be too much, or that I can't do it, just because that's just how racing goes. Especially the longer the race is, the more likely you're going to have a moment where you're going to say, oh shit, what did I sign up for? Why am I here? Can I do this? Every bit of work you put into it is going to be, you're going to be questioning, every step along the way. And then you're going to just have to refocus, recompartmentalize, and take it one step at a time, 1 mile at a time. Shout out to Live It Up for sponsoring this episode once again. We're really happy to have their support as I get ready for the Chicago Marathon. It's been a big help to have a little extra greens in my diet. So this morning I'm throwing down a little Live It Up smoothie. Last time I used just water, and that's the nice thing about Live It Up is you can make it a little bit more customizable for yourself, however you want to get in your greens. This time I'm trying to get a little bit more calories in, so threw some protein, some fresh fruit and orange juice in there, and made myself a little green smoothie for some recovery purposes. And yeah, Live It Up's been a good part of my recovery process throughout this build, making sure I'm getting sufficient amount of nutrients and micronutrients that you can get through greens. And it's a little simpler than trying to hit all your veggies through real food. It's just a little hack, and in marathon training we're looking for all the little ways that we can get a little bit of an edge and feel a little bit better, increase our energy, increase our recovery times. And so Live It Up's been a good part of my Chicago Marathon block thus far. Go to letsliveitup.com, scan the QR code on the screen, and use code Rory15. Try your greens, level up your training.
I think Rory's good in a time trial situation. I think he's good in just a pure racing standpoint. So I think this will be a good place to be no matter which race we're in. We're obviously setting up more for a time trial situation right now, and so we communicate well, and just kind of he conveys what he feels like he needs, which is great. And then I kind of, adapt it and make sure it happens so that we're kind of, like I was saying earlier as well, eliminating any weaknesses that might be present.
All right, yeah, I just finished up the classic staple morning session at Trina's Loop for double threshold. Really fun day, good day. Blood readings have been extremely good this build, especially the last 2 times I've done this. I did this last Tuesday and today, Friday. So got a 3-mile rep in 14:42 and read 2.7 blood lactate. Did a 2-mile in 9:42. Got a 4.4, so we cut it down to miles, got the readings back down to 3.0, some 451s, which is just what you want to do. You want to learn how to ride the line and feel those differences and just get more efficient at running paces that you're trying to race at. And obviously at altitude on a windy day, fatigue on your legs. I'm not judging myself too harsh on like 450s versus 440s. Like I know like what this means when I go to a place like Chicago, if the conditions are ideal, sea level, flat, fast course. It's boding really well. I think this is the number one area where I've been able to measure my improvement over the last years, what I've been able to put out in threshold sessions and the readings I'm getting back in those same sessions. I think the biggest change that happened that made this feel realistic is racing. Like the races that I've done in the last 6 to 8 months, they kind of built on each other. Running a personal best in Maragame earlier in the year and feeling like, oh man, that wasn't a good day for me. I didn't feel good. I had some things go wrong in that race and I still ran sub 61. So kind of getting confidence from a bad race, having a decent result, and then building off that to the 10K where I ran a big personal best leading into Boston in the 10,000. And I've always felt like for me physiologically, being good at the shorter races is going to bode well for the longer stuff. And then in training, I had a few breakthroughs between those milestones. And in Boston, I just made the decision early that I was going to run more or less fearlessly. And I feel like I can now summon that version of myself again and just try to be as fearless as possible. So it's really just a mindset shift and building blocks from previous races. Just cheesing. What is
like
it?
Flowers, and then you like hammer the flowers. And this.
Ooh, is that a honeycomb?
Beeswax candle.
Oh, wow.
Candle? That's cool. Do you put it in here? What's this for? Is this for pencils? No, watch. Oh, look. There you go. Just want to give a special thanks to everybody who's following along the journey here to the Chicago Marathon. I see your comments and I appreciate every time I get encouraged. It makes it feel like I have an army of people behind me supporting this cause, supporting me and my goals. And please continue to like, comment, and subscribe. It makes us feel like the work we're doing is really important and we really appreciate it. He's getting random stuff.